Maybe just a brief history of the school, how it started, and how making it church-sponsored becomes a difference.
In the early 2000s, they started thinking about a school, so as to have their children also in the same compound. And this idea came to be realized in 2012 when they started the school actually. Being church sponsored, we actually advocate for Christian values. We also are so keen on the family where our children come from. So we always have meetings with parents to ensure that the upbringing of these children is balanced both at home and in school. Because education is not just academic. We also look at the child outside the school.
True.
That's why maybe the school is growing the way it is.
And that maybe is the unique element that separates it from other schools.
That's actually the unique element, because we also have a lot of talents that we train. We have a lot of church activities. We also do community service. We participate in cleaning. Just 2 weeks ago, we were in Huruma Children's Home. So we also give back to the community.
I'm also seeing a lot of sports activities going on.
Yeah, you realize that my vision for this school is to see to it that we produce graduates who have all the domains of education: psychomotor, affective, and cognitive. We realize that nowadays why even we have problems with our national exams is because most schools are just focused on the cognitive. But not everybody can excel in class. So we have in our calendars days when we just have sports, days when we just have talents. So that these children can sing themselves out, they can dance, they can run in the field. So that at the end of the day, the Englishmen say that too much work without play makes Jack a dull boy. So we also don't want dull jacks in class. So that's why we really focus also on the psychomotor, which is sports. And we went up to the regionals in the recently concluded sports, the recently concluded music festivals. You look at our society today, people who are just on the books. Why do you have a lot of social evils? Men turning on their wives, fathers turning on their children, even raping and things like that. You find that when I'm only trained on the cognitive alone, I fail to recognize that within my academic credentials, I grow in a society. So that's why the affective element has to come in. We look at how they make friends, how they share. Like just when we were closing the other day, we had parties. Those parties were held courtesy of children who were having birthdays, who came just with food to celebrate with each other.
I really wanted you to talk on that. I mean, why did you pay so much attention on closing the school with so much oomph, you know?
So you find that when we close the school, we are now setting the children to be free outside. You know, here is confined, we monitor them. But you wanted them also to know that as they go home, let them also have the same spirit of togetherness they had in school with their colleagues in the estates. And that's why also we find that we took something that they brought to Huruma Children's Home. We donated food, we donated clothes, and we find that with that they really appreciate that element of sharing and growing with each other. That's actually what we really strengthen in our school.
Are you able then to measure just how much you have developed the child emotionally when we're talking about now the affective domain? Are you able to assess, does it show on its own as they grow up? Are you able to see it?
Sure, you find that it may be hard to measure it because our curriculum has not developed ways of showing that, because they don't sit exams to show the affective element of education. But you find that as a school, we have tried to have what we call families. Like even I'm in charge of around 5 children. We meet every Wednesday in the afternoon. And during this time, it's just counseling and sharing experiences. And when you bond in the small family, they again go bonding in class, then the whole school. So at the same time, every child is assigned a father or a mother. The role of the father is to ensure that this child grows wholesomely. Advise the child on academics, follow up on how the children relates with colleagues, follow up on how the children can demonstrate respect to older people, their respect to the authority, like they have their own students' council. How do they respect their colleagues when they're told, for example, clean the class? So you find that at the end of the day, every teacher gives what we call a profile of a child. Like every time we close the school, they give a profile, whereby throughout this term, I was with Patricia Gadoni. Patricia Gadoni in class was this way. Patricia Gadoni in sports was this way. Patricia Gadoni in music, she participated up to this level. So by that, we are able to advise our parents on what they also need to sensitize their children on when they are at home. Because talent must be developed both in school and outside. Yes.
And I think this development of families and kind of putting them in small clans makes it easier to identify their talents and natural abilities.
It does, because you know, if there are children who cannot express themselves when there are so many people. But when they are brought to small groups, you find that now they can fully express themselves because they're just a few eyes and people that they know. So with that, they outgrow that and now can do it in the wider society of the school and outside the school.
So which are some of the talents which can be identified and molded within a school setup, as opposed to the others that cannot maybe be seen in school and can only be seen at home or in a different environment? Are there such talents?
Yes, we do have them. You find that a school like Nairobi Christian is in an urban setting. And you know the economic times, parents leave very early, they come back very late. So they hardly know their children. But for us, they bring them to us in the morning and pick in the evening. Through this, we have during class parties, they have their dancing. So we have children who can be dancers. Through interclass music competition, we have those who can sing. So we are developing the singers. Actually, with the music, we went up to the regionals, which were held in Makueni. Then thirdly, we also have these children who can be journalists. They are writers. We always have, like in our assemblies, children who report on news of what happened the whole week. So this one, you're also training people who can take up after you.
Next, we have the cake ceremony, which will be held by our dear governor and our deputy governor. When class 7 sit to the class 8, when class 7 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 to.
So I found that when those with passion in journalism, they come to KU, for example, they'll find KU TV. That can be a way of developing their skills. So at the same time, we're also working from next year to have what we call attachment, so that our children, when they close for nowadays, we don't have tuition and remedial work. We want them to be attached where they have passion. Like we also already want to link up with like KUTV, those with passion in journalism, they can just come there and do voluntary work there. Yeah, those who want to be pilots, we want to attach them to JKIA Wilson Airport so that they just do something there for a whole week.
How possible is it to identify these talents and abilities solid at their age? I mean, don't you think maybe some of them are too young to know what they want to do or what they want to be?
Okay, to me, I would want to say that as an educationist, in education, they say the education scholars were saying, like Montessori said, give me the child for the first 7 years and I'll give you the adult. So personality and all these things by age 7 are fully formed. Age 7 here we have a child in class 2, class 3. So if there's a talent already you can...
It has been seen.
It has already been seen.
It has to take a very keen teacher, right? And a keen relationship between the teacher and the learner.
It's true. That's why, you know, in Nairobi Christian Academy, we really advocate for small classes. Our class don't go beyond 25 children. So with that, a teacher can even sit with them in a circle and they know them. And because of the reports we always get from them, they have some books where they have children profile. They know them even with the estate they live, they know the profession of the father, they know their career passions. And with that, we can identify these things from even as early as class 1. Because most of our teachers have also been here for quite some time. We are a school that also prides itself in retaining teachers.
That consistency is needed.
Consistency. So we find that a teacher may start with a child from baby class and come with a child up to even class 3, because ECD teachers can handle children up to class 3. Then they hand them over now to the middle primary, then upper primary. Then on the issue of the junior secondary, you know, as we talk this junior secondary, it can either be in a primary school or in a secondary school. That's actually what is going on with the stakeholders. Now, like Nairobi Christian Academy, we are eligible to have the junior secondary. Actually, it is now called the middle school. That's the term which is being used. So that, because you not have maybe class 7, 8 and the others, those facilities can now be used for the middle school. So we found that at the middle school, this is whereby now the children identify themselves, so that from there, they transit, so that when they go now to the senior school, those who want to be academic purely, they are already identified. Those who want to go to the performing arts, they can go that direction. Those who now want to go to the technical direction, we can do that. Like already in our class 8, we have children who are not good in class. They are not good in classwork. But they are very good artists. They can really draw. So such children, if that system was already here, you only take them to the tertiary areas. So we find that those are things already we are doing, already grouping our learners in terms of that. So when that thing will come, it will not get us off guard, because already
you're leaving the future in the present.
Yeah, you have to plan ahead.
Where we are waiting to go, you're already there.
You have to plan ahead as an administrator.
Very true.
Yeah.
And then there's the reluctance. There are particular talents in children which many parents are not still comfortable with. A child is an artist, but most of the parents want them to be pilots and engineers. What's your take on that? How do you put this together?
Now, I would wish to say that it is the way our society has been. Our society, to me, our system is what has failed. The education system is no problem. Like if you look at the original 844, personally I did music in primary school. I did art, I did craft, I did home science, we baked.
Were you told to crochet?
Yes, we did. I was able to mend my clothes in class 7, 8.
You're a man. That was not one of the things
so
I wanted to do.
You find that because of now the mismatch between the school and the job market, that's why you find parents are doing that. But a lot of children whose parents stress them that I want you to be an engineer. They did very well in primary, high school, and went to the university, I think JKU, did the engineering, and the child brought to the mother, this engineering was yours. Let him now go back and do what I wanted.
Some of them even want to be tailors, as a matter
yes.
of fact.
So you realize that not everybody can become a doctor. As we talk nowadays, those tertiary skills they are lacking. You find that in a whole area, you can look for a mason, you will not get them.
Very true.
You can look for a plumber, you will not get them. It is because of our job market which has made some courses to be above others. But you know that this doctor will need somebody to build his house. So to me, the moment our sector, education sector, will now shift towards putting children where they fit, we'll have a balanced society so that everybody will make a living. Because at the end of the day, we want everybody to be productive.
And to be satisfied
yes.
in their areas.
We want them to be satisfied. And that's why career counseling is quite important. You cannot get a child who fears blood. The moment they see blood, they faint. And you insist this child that you have to be a nurse, you have to be a doctor. What are you producing?
A mediocre doctor.
Yeah. These are the doctors who, when during operation, they leave things inside there.
Because they can't wait to get out of the
yeah, they just, at the end of the day, at least it was over. So they are not in that job because of their passion, but they are there because it is a profession that their parents of the society considers good.
Good, and which should not be the case.
It should not be the case.
We actually do hope that we're going to have parents embrace these talents and abilities as a source of income and a way of life for these learners. Being that this school is in Eastlands, And there are very many vices globally, countrywide, and this place also has vices. We have HIV and AIDS,
Of course.
we have drug abuse. Do you think that identifying the abilities of these children and molding them towards experiencing that maybe curtails engagement with the vices?
Okay, I want to say that Eastlands, like where we are, it is true what you are saying. Such things also affect us. Like we have children who are being brought up by guardians. They don't have parents because they were victims of that. We have children who have witnessed some of these abuses. But the much we can do as a school is to educate them.
Being that they come from the school and they are talented people who have been given that liberation to experience their abilities, do you think maybe gives them a better self-esteem so they are not influenced by their peers, but they become the influencing factors?
That's true. That's very true, because self-esteem is a key thing. The moment you have a low self-esteem, you are susceptible to abuse, because you will not be principled. You can just go down for anything that comes. And we had a trip with our class 6, 7, and 8 in Nakuru. It was an academic trip, but we also had lessons. They had 10 lessons. One of the lessons we were talking to them about was self-esteem. And something that I came to discover is that self-esteem is all about you. These are things that they are aware of. And more so, when you identify a child who just withdraws, they are always alone. We are always keen to notice that there could be a problem. Because the moment there is that withdrawal, it means the self-esteem is low. And that's now where our teachers come in, to try to find out more. What is it? And we also keep an open communication system with our parents. Our class teachers are free to talk one-on-one with them. It doesn't have necessarily to come to the office. They talk to them, then they can report that today I was able to talk to the parent of so-and-so. So you find that the self-esteem element, the moment I'm even teaching in class, and there's a child who cannot even raise a hand, does not even answer any question. Already as a teacher, that's feedback already. And there is one that I found that I was teaching math in their class. But this boy was just, after the class, when I called the boy, he told me that, Mwalimu, when you are teaching, my mind went back home. My mother has been in Dubai for almost 7 years. I've never seen her. And now when you go home, ensure that your parents assist you in your homework. I just thought of now who will assist. And my father is also a businessman who is never at home. The only person who is there is the house help. So you find that the moment I could not notice that, then I would not have achieved the objectives of the lesson. So we want to produce somebody who knows their place in the society and they can fight for their place, irrespective of the environment.
The challenges that they have.
Yes.
And talking about homework, they are definitely given a lot of work, if not, adequate on their way home, because there's no tuition nowadays. How much homework can you say is enough, and how much homework can you say is too much when holiday is in the conversation?
That's true. You find that most of our schools have failed in the issue of homework, because it's we want these children to be busy both in school and out of school. Just in our end of term staff meeting, which we had before the children came for their results, the homework was a topic. And to me, our colleges and universities train as well, that as a teacher, I should lesson plan even for an exam. I should even plan for that homework. That is what we are now shifting to in this school. So that when I give homework, it should be a reinforcement of work I did in class. It should not just merely to make the child busy, or just because the school policy says I give homework, I give it. We were able to sit down and agree on what homework to give. And for the first time, we were able to give bound booklets as homework for our children.
That have all subjects?
Yes, it has all subjects. So they are kind of seeking for their response based on what they have done throughout the whole time. So that when these children come back, we are able to assess to what extent did we achieve the objectives of what we taught in term 2. So homework to me, and to what I advocate and I've even shared with my teachers, it should not be too much to weigh the children down. The homework should be an avenue for them to say that, oh, the teacher taught me this and it is here. I've been able to get it. When they come back, they'll even be more psyched up to learn new things.
It shouldn't be something that brings them down, even emotionally.
That is my policy of what a homework is.
How about the parents? Do they have a role to play when it comes to execution of homework by the children?
One of the roles of a good parent, which I've shared with them many times we are here, they assist the child with the homework. And you may find that as a parent, you may not know the maths, you may not know the English, but just by you just coming to check the way that your child is doing in homework, that shows that you are interested in it. That will make the child also know that my teacher and my parent are both interested in my learning. But you advocate that as a parent, just try to check, even if you are not just checking the sentences, check, is the child rubbing too much? Tell the child to be neat.
What should the teacher objectively be looking to achieve using homework when they are administering?
Homework should be a follow-up of what was taught throughout the whole day.
Baada ya mafunzo ni wakati mwingine pia tunakutana darasani. Ni wakati wa somo ambalo tunalipenda kisana.
From the first subject they learn to the last one. The homework now should be a way of reinforcing the understanding of what the teacher taught from 8 to 3. That is what homework should do.
And over the holidays.
And then, at the same time, it should also have some questions that trigger them to read ahead of the teacher in the next topic. The holiday homework should be summative. It should touch on everything that was taught throughout the whole term, so that when the child is at home, they are able to remind themselves through doing. Because when they do the homework, they'll be referring to the notes. In so doing, they'll now be transferring what was taught from short-term memory to long-term memory. That's actually what that homework of holidays do. At the same time, it is to enable these children also to be organized so that they plan their time well. I know I have homework across all the subjects, is it? I also have maybe house chores to do. I have my other personal life to live, like being with friends.
What are some of the activities that a parent should not miss out on doing with their children, maybe because it builds them in a different way into a better and whole person? Because they too have a role, you know.
One, I encourage that parents should have time out with their children. In fact, if you look at the newsletters I always write for them, I always tell them, plan for quality time with your child. Let them even take a day off their work. Let it not be a weekend, because weekend they don't go to work. But the moment the child you see that today daddy did not go to work just because of me, it will have a positive impact. So let them plan for adequate time, just a family out, some family time out with their children. Let them know the people that their children spend a lot of time with. Because the moment it's a wrong company, they'll have the wrong children. Let them also know what their children do when they are at work or when they are outside home. Let me not assume that I'm away, the child is in the house. Sometimes even make a surprise lunchtime visit. Come and find what is she doing. Come and announce. That will enable your child to be very sensitive that mommy is an unseen eye here. So they'll always be responsible. Get the point? Then the parents should also see to it that the children can do simple domestic tasks. They can wash their inner clothes, they can wash their socks, they can clean their room, they can make their beds. Because the moment you don't have such people, they'll not appreciate the person doing that work. Then above all, they should be spiritual role models. If at all you are a parent who the child has never heard you even call the word of God, call God, they have never even seen you carry a Bible, how will you expect them to be in a Christian school and also to be Christians at home? So the Christianity aspect, to me, the parent is the first priest in the house.
Thank you so much. It has been quite resourceful. I really appreciate it. Maybe just look into this camera and say, ELIMU ni nguvu, because indeed we believe education is power. And a line that you want to be remembered with as an educationist in this field. Just into this camera.
Oh, thank you so much. I want to say that as a teacher, I advocate for holistic learning of the child, whereby I don't just focus on the grade, but I should also be given a grade on the character of the child. Because now, the job market outside there is not looking for papers, but the person. And with that, tutakuwa na elimu ambayo ni ya nguvu. Elimu ni nguvu.